have some incredible talent in Texas around in the software industry, and we got them here for you today. So I am your host, Matt Register, here as always with my friend Jay Curry. Jay, what's going on, sir?
I just love this topic, Matt. Thank God for America. You know, we're based on capitalism and the idea of finding the niche, finding a gap, and building a business around it. Software is a beautiful example of how that can work and work very well. This is going to be a good program.
Nope, I couldn't agree more. And being able to leverage technology to be able to get more out of your company is where a lot of the gains are. I mean, you can only get so much work out of somebody. You can only be so productive, and you got to find ways to leverage that labor and that brain power and do something else with it. So we have Atom Solutions is a software house out of Houston that works in the energy space. Firoz Jhaver, I got that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Firoz Jhaver is the CEO of Atom Solutions. Firoz, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me on.
Tell me a little bit about Atom Solutions and tell me what it is you guys do, what niche you guys serve in the market.
Sure. So Atom Solutions was founded just over 5 years ago to address some emerging needs in the energy software consulting space. We have resources who are project managers, business process experts, IT specialists, and we deliver consulting solutions to our customers. So the types of services are around formulating IT strategy, helping them select software and implement the software, provide custom builds if that's necessary, software testing, data analytics, systems integration, and so on.
Now, the niche comes with who the customer is, though, right? I mean, you have a very specific customer base that you're working for, and that is, tell us in your own words.
Right. So, from the time energy is produced to the time you consume it, let's say in your automobile as gasoline, jet fuel, plastics, a number of uses and forms. There's companies prior to that are engaged in a number of activities, and they need to keep track of all those activities, all the nuances around all the different products, the changing of forms, the transportation. There's gathering and processing activities. There's fractionation, blending, refining, transportation of various forms.
Thousands of areas.
Absolutely. Right? So one of the things we were talking about earlier in the break was around the misconception that if you're filling up at ExxonMobil, that maybe you're getting the crude that ExxonMobil pulled out of the ground, and that's not the case. It could have come from anywhere. So
that particular gallon of gas may have come from a completely different location.
Absolutely, and a different company. So companies have to keep track of all that, the operations as well as the transactions that they need to settle with their counterparties. And so we help these companies because of our business process knowledge, our off-the-shelf software package knowledge. We're able to help these companies implement the software solutions to conduct their business.
Now, this is, and I'm going to probably oversimplify this, but correct me where I'm wrong here. So a company has, with their operations, something very, very specific that doesn't apply to a lot of companies. And you either find something off the shelf that will work or build it, right, if it doesn't exist.
Correct.
And then help them tie it into their ERP system or whatever system they're using as the backbone of their company, right?
That's correct. A lot of these business processes are so unique that they're not addressed in most ERP systems. So the companies do need this software, but they also need to make sure that the data, which will ultimately flow into a financial reporting package or ERP, is accurate. So we actually go and help them with modeling their business in the software from them to validate the numbers, make sure that these are acceptable numbers, and so they can then help them go live with the system.
Well, some of them are so unique they not only don't exist in an ERP system, they don't exist, period, right? Some of them you got to go in and create, right?
That's correct.
You do that as well, right?
Yes. So we help them build custom solutions. They may, as we help them look in the marketplace, they may find that nothing really meets a lot of what they need, and so we may help them build the software. And other times, what happens is they select a system but maybe it's 80% there. So there's a gap that we help them fill in. That also requires custom extensions and custom build.
So tell me a little bit about some of the changes in software over the last 10 years that you have seen.
So, I would say there's a couple of drivers to that. One is around regulations that may come into play. So, the participants are forced to add new functionality or look for software that's new because the older software maybe not be in business anymore, or so on. And the second driver is technology, right? The technology continues to advance and improve. And many times, a lot of these smaller software companies may not make it. They go out of business. And so companies have to go look for other products that are probably taking advantage of cloud, probably much more robust around data analytics than their software. So we're seeing those changes quite a bit in the last 10 years and going forward.
Well, in the cloud and software as a service has changed fundamentally y'all's business, right? Tell me a little bit about y'all's company and how that affected it.
I think, as a consulting firm, you just have to be on the sort of the bleeding edge of what's going on, as well as be on top of some of the existing systems that are out there. So I think initially the cloud was introduced in our space called, as ASP, or application service providers. Mm-hmm. And all they did was really outsource your application. Well, the cloud has a lot more functionality around hardware scaling, around software upgrades, and so on. And I think the energy business is getting more and more comfortable with letting that go. They were concerned about data security a lot in the past, and I see.
I think everybody is at this point.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And so these companies that are in the cloud are probably the best. At least the leaders are, in terms of making sure the data is secure. And so we're seeing that. As far as affecting our business, we're getting into that quite a bit and helping companies make the leap to the cloud.
One of the points you made was that between, say, the law changes and the technology change,
right.
Those are two, particularly technology changes so rapidly. Is part of your job to keep your clients up to date on that? I mean, that's rapid change. It's hard for companies to stay up with that, and it's just constant changing.
I would say in part, yes. It just depends on the customer base. So sometimes some players in the energy sector are very conservative, and so they think IT spending is a necessary evil. And so what we try to do is make sure that we provide value in terms of return on investment as fast as possible, do it in the most efficient manner. And so that's our goal. Sometimes we are able to provide information to clients. Other times they're perfectly happy being, on legacy products.
Well, you're also dealing with software companies many times where you're implementing, and either they stay up with it or they don't.
Correct.
You fill that gap if they don't.
That's correct. If they choose not to, but they have some other needs that come up, we help them out.
Sounds like you also take their competitive advantage, whatever that might be, and you help multiply that for them.
Right. Sometimes, one of the things that we were talking about earlier with software companies, they actually started off as consulting firms, and there's specific needs that they meet, and
found a niche and filled it.
And they filled it and became a software company.
Right.
So
wonderful. Well, Firoz Jhaver is the CEO of Atom Solutions, ATOM, Atom Solutions, out of Houston. Firoz, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
And the best way to get in touch with you if somebody wants to learn a little more.
The best way is our website, whoisatom.com. That's whoisatom.com.
Whoisatom.com. Whoisatom.com. Firoz, thank you very much. Guys, go ahead and get your questions in. 844-814-8144 is a 24-hour call-in number. 24-hour call-in number. We also monitor hashtag TBR on Twitter. So go ahead and get your questions in. We will get the experts in here to answer them. We got to go pay a couple of bills. We're going to cut to a quick commercial. We're going to be back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue to talk about software and what a big business software is in Texas. Don't go anywhere.